Hey, everybody. Thanks for coming back. This is the All Meat, Hold the Anchovies podcast.
We just recorded episode 1, and it was pretty fun. I enjoyed it. Mm-hmm. Hopefully, y'all enjoyed it enough to come back, which I guess you did, or you're giving us another shot. Oh, I'm sorry. I'm Dwaine, and my co-host is David.
Hi, David.
Hi, David. You need to have something like ready to say, like, hey, Dwaine, you're a great guy.
You mean like show notes or something?
No. Yeah. I'm the show note guy. Yeah. Like I have my conversation starters written down. David has them in his head. I just can't do that. I don't have that big of a head. David's is huge. So anyway.
That's why we're not shooting video.
That's why we don't do video podcasts anymore. If you want to see David's head, go back to look up Survivor Talk with D&D on YouTube. And you can see how fat I was. And you can see David's beautiful. Actually, no, you always wore a hat.
I thought you were going to say how fat his head really was.
I was going to, and then I realized that's terribly mean.
And the special hats he had to order just to wear on his
David
head.
would always wear a hat. David was so upset about being on video to begin with. You hated being on video. And so David would always wear a hat.
And I've got about, 100 little, Funkos to prove that I didn't like being on video.
Yes.
Still got those little guys.
Yeah. All right. Well, let's get right to it. So let's do randomizer here. Are you ready?
Yep.
It's going to be either you or me going first, and it is me.
Good, because you're not going to like me going first.
All right. Here it is. All right. What's the best show currently on TV? Currently on. So that means if it's a streaming show, they are in the middle, like they just released it or something, like it's not 2 years old. So you can stream it, but if you're streaming it now, then it's been released recently.
What if I just watched the finale of a season 2 weeks ago?
Yeah, we can count that.
Like a show still putting out new seasons.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
This is
or
I
a
want to say.
Show. Yeah.
So we talked at the end of the last episode of the first episode that we both had TV questions, and this is perfect. Yours is not like mine, and it's
good,
but it complements mine very well.
Yeah.
So let's see. I could tell you a couple that are currently on that we don't miss. One is Yellowstone.
Oh, really? I haven't watched Yellowstone.
It's fantastic. Terry loves it. I love it. And
how many seasons are there?
Probably 4 so far.
Okay.
And there's going to be another one. We probably watch 90% together now. And we watch a lot of detective shows, a lot of solvent shows, stuff like that. We love Ted Lasso.
Oh, Ted Lasso's great.
Apple TV, that's one of our favorites. Yeah. My favorite on right now, I still record Triple D, Diners, Drive-Ins, and Dives. Diners, Drive-Ins, and Dives.
Oh.
Yeah. But that's certainly not my favorite. Gosh, I would say the one.
I'm not really into food shows anymore.
That's because you can't eat them. But the one.
Yeah, I can.
The one that we hardly wait. So we're also watching Boba Fett. And
I haven't started that yet because I want to finish The Mandalorian with my friend here before I watch Boba Fett.
As much as I like Yellowstone and we love Ted Lasso, even though the first season is better than the second, I think the best pound for pound show on TV is The Mandalorian. I can't stop watching that. I've already seen it once. I think I've seen a lot of them twice, and we're actually starting to rewatch it now as Boba Fett's going on. Wait a minute. I'm thinking about all the series that are on Disney to make sure I'm covering the. Yeah, Mandalorian's I think the best on Disney. Paramount's really good. I mean, Yellowstone's really good. Really, really good. That's still the one we can't wait to see is Mandalorian.
But there aren't any new episodes coming out now. So, I mean, it's been. I mean, are they going to make a season 3?
I'm almost positive they are. Okay.
But
if not, If not, then Yellowstone.
And Yellowstone's on what streaming service?
Paramount. It's on
Paramount?
Paramount Channel. I don't think it's on the Paramount streaming service. I think it's on another streaming service. You can get the first couple of seasons. But for some reason, so Tyler Sheridan that wrote Yellowstone used to be in Sons of Anarchy. And he started writing the Yellowstone show. And then he started writing the prequel because Paramount signed him to a $200 million deal to write 5 shows, including Yellowstone.
I could do that for 5.
I bet you I could too. So he wrote Mayor of Kingstown with Jeremy Renner. And but for some reason, Yellowstone didn't fall under the Paramount umbrella when it came out. So it's only on the Paramount channel, but it's not streaming on Paramount yet. It's weird.
What?
But everything else he's written is streaming on Paramount. I think it's a grandfather clause thing. But anyway, so you watch it on the Paramount channel, but there is another streaming service where you can watch Yellowstone, but I don't think it's Paramount. It's weird. Just Google it. Go to your Roku, search Yellowstone, and you'll see where you can watch it.
Well, it's somewhere besides Paramount Channel because I've seen it. Netflix. I know some of the episodes at least are on Netflix.
Like first couple seasons are on Netflix. Yeah.
Yeah.
One of those channels.
Yeah. So Mandalorian.
Yeah. Well, since I don't know, I would go with Yellowstone then, but it'd be one of those two.
Okay.
But I will say that if it was having another season, Broadchurch would be up there with it. Have you seen that on Netflix? That's a really good show. David Tennant, Doctor Who, David Tennant and Olivia Colman.
Oh, I have seen that.
That's a great show. Good
detective show. David Tennant. He's great. And I actually know who he is because he played Doctor Who.
Exactly.
So they are still coming out with another season, and it's the last season of an amazing show called Better Call Saul.
Yes.
That is an amazing series. Especially if you've watched Breaking Bad.
Is it better than Breaking Bad?
I'm enjoying it more. It's really a lot different than Breaking Bad. Well, I don't know if it's a lot different, but yeah, I don't know. Yeah, I'm enjoying it more, but I mean that doesn't mean I didn't enjoy Breaking Bad.
Yeah.
But I am enjoying it more, I think. Of course, it's been like 2 years since they came out with it.
I know.
Episode. And he had a heart attack.
Yes.
He had a heart attack. So they had to stop recording.
He's also got a movie out. It's kind of like a vigilante movie called Nobody. I haven't seen it yet. That's out on streaming.
You ever notice that all these lawyers now are doing like one call, that's all, and all these stupid things trying to be like Better Call Saul? Yeah. Oh, there was another show I just thought of. Oh, I don't remember.
I forgot about Saul. I watched that one too.
Oh, it's like right on the tip of my tongue.
Who's in it?
And I can't think of it. It's another one where they haven't released one in a while. Anyway, I'm not like on my tip of my toes waiting for Stranger Things, although I'll watch it, but I'm not like, oh, I can't wait.
It's like the shine is getting less shiny each season. I hate to say that. But it's still a family thing. It's a horror thing, which I don't do horror movies.
It's gotten a little darker.
Well, that's what I'm saying. It's kind of a fun thing for us to watch it because it's kind of scarier.
Yeah.
And I don't watch scary movies. I don't have any use for them.
Yeah. Have you seen Ghostbusters Afterlife?
No, but I want to.
Oh, it's hilarious.
Oh, good.
It's really good. It's really good. Yeah. So, gosh, I don't remember that other show. Connie's been watching all these Asian shows. I don't understand, but she's like hooked.
With subtitles?
Yeah.
On Netflix?
It's like, yeah.
They're Korean shows. My mom watches them too.
Yeah. So Connie watched an episode of one and then watched the entire series.
Yep.
And now all these, recommended for you are all these Korean shows.
Yes.
Isn't Korea in Asia? Didn't I get that right?
Yeah, but I'm just helping you be specific. Because my mom watches the same exact shows. I guarantee you they're the same shows. She loves them. I've never seen one, but she loves them.
Yeah. Oh, well. Anyway. Okay, so I need to watch Broadchurch. And
I thought you said you've seen it.
I'm sorry, I have watched Broadchurch. The Better Call Saul. They still haven't put a release date on that. Okay. There you go. Well, can I ask a follow-up question?
No, it's not your podcast.
Okay, go
Of
ahead.
course you can.
No, I mean,
Please do.
we've already spent 13 minutes on this one, so.
Please do. This is a no pressure, no notes, just say what we want to say podcast.
All right, you and I think we've talked about this, but since we're talking about these series, right?
Mm-hmm.
I think the first when recent TV started changing, like since the 80s, right? Right. I mean, you watch 60s and 70s shows, they are definitely their own thing. In 80s too, and 90s gets a little better. But like, let's say like the last 25 years or the last 20 years, shows have really begun to change. Right.
Yeah.
And like Lost, I think, was the beginning of that change. So it's like, how have TV shows changed over the years? Now, I have a specific answer. Why did you put the camera so close to your face?
Because I want to look like I'm looking at you. Because
I liked it the other way.
You don't like me looking at you? Because you're looking right at me, and I appreciate that. It's very professional.
Okay, all right.
Am I looking at you now?
Yes, it's kind of weird, actually. I'm not used to you looking at me on Skype. It's weird.
Get used to it, buddy.
Anyway, so like we've talked about this before, how TV shows have changed like within the last 10 or 15 years, right?
Mm-mm.
Okay, so like for me, I think TV shows are much more intelligent than they used to be. They're much higher quality writing than they used to be, in my opinion.
Yeah.
And I think Lost was the transition. So Lost was a series like you'd never seen before.
Yeah.
Right.
Absolutely.
And it was just, I mean, to me, it changed. So now you have shows like Dexter and Better Call Saul and Breaking Bad. These shows that are more cutting edge than the Law and Orders and stuff. So like the Law and Orders and the CSI, it's kind of like, yeah, we've seen this all before. It's the same kind of cinematography. It's the same feel. It's got like a network feel, And these Netflix shows and HBO Max shows and all these other shows, they have more of a edgy feel.
Yeah.
So, and I just think it's like they were able to write more like they were writing a movie script than a TV script.
I think shows when we were younger, and I hope this is the right word, were very formulaic. Is that the right word? They followed a formula.
Yeah.
They ended in 48 minutes, and you knew it was going to get wrapped up. Ching, ching, courthouse, in the next place. So I think shows today not only want us to leave us guessing, but it's gone beyond that to an intelligence of writing. You're right.
Yeah.
And I think they've gotten rid of a lot of boundaries when it comes to writing. They don't have to follow a code. They can do what they want. They're also tackling subjects that are not household friendly. Leave It to Beaver never touched anything that was hardly something that was going to happen in the home, and all these different shows like WKRP started going outside the lines a little bit, which is why I loved it. But shows today are tackling subjects that we wouldn't think about. And they're trying to not surprise us, but they're trying to, I think, make us feel a little uncomfortable, which kind of draws us in.
Mm-hmm.
But Lost threw away every formulaic book and just said, you know what? You think that's where it's going? Nah. I think they had a ball. I think they had so much fun, and it made it one of the best shows probably ever on TV, just because you were watching a different show every week. It was never the same episode. So I think the subject matters changed for one, but they also, I think they made the dialogue smarter. I think that's what you said. They made it more intelligent. They made the jokes more intelligent for humor. Some of the humor you had to get. It wasn't an in-your-face Dick Van Dyke humor joke, which I love Dick Van Dyke, one of my favorite black and white shows. Yeah. But the humor was sometimes dark. It was like, oh my gosh, that's so funny. But then, like in Mandalorian, I have spoken. We crack up every time that little guy says that, but he's dead serious when he says it, so it's different. I totally agree that it's more intelligent writing, which to me means more creative at the same time.
Yeah. And if you go back and like you look at shows in the 70s, so let's say you look at The Love Boat, right? obviously a cheesy show, that and Fantasy Island and Dallas and all these shows in the 80s and stuff. I mean, it's just like so overly acted. And, I mean, like, for example, I'm rewatching Columbo because I love Columbo.
Really?
Right? And I'm rewatching Columbo, and oh my goodness, some of the Columbo's great, but some of the other actors in there, like, they're on purpose in the way that they overact. It's like they're obviously acting. This is not how they would normally interact with people. Columbo does. Columbo's pretty normal in the way he talks to people and stuff like that. But one thing I like about Columbo, and I don't know that they do this a whole lot anymore, but Columbo, first of all, it's an episode, completely different. It begins and ends in each episode, which they don't do that hardly.
Formulaic, yeah.
Right. Anyway, so it's that. But they'll have like famous actors and actresses as guest stars every single episode, and I love it. And another thing they do is they show you who did it, and they show you how they did it. So the show isn't about figuring out who did it. The show is about how Columbo catches them.
Now, when he catches them, which is great because that's like Sherlock. Sherlock is just a little bit more intelligent Columbo. So, but when he catches them, do they just sit there and bow their head like, "Oh, you caught me"?
Yeah, that's very unrealistic, which they don't do nowadays.
No, in Ozark, they pull out a gun.
Yeah,
and you're in trouble.
Yeah,
you caught me. Okay, I guess you're gonna die now.
Yeah, it's not like I want a lawyer. It's like, well, this is why I did it, and I'm like, really? You're gonna admit? I mean, come on. It's like Columbo's case would never stand up in court, but they all,
It's funny you mentioned Love Boat and Fantasy Island, two perfectly formulaic shows. But then you got Dallas, Knots Landing, Falcon Crest, Dynasty, soap operas for the nighttime. Yeah. So they were a little bit more risque, and they moved faster than daytime soaps. I don't know if you remember daytime soaps. It took one episode to cover 3 minutes per scene. A 3-minute scene took the whole episode to get through because they kept bouncing around. Yeah. So that was nighttime soap operas. That was huge.
Yeah. I don't know that like shows like Ozark and stuff anymore feel like they have to leave you on a cliffhanger. I don't remember, but I don't think so. I mean, sometimes cliffhangers are awesome. Like in Lost, the cliffhangers were like, oh my gosh, I have to wait a week to watch. But see, you don't have to wait a week to watch. Well, sometimes you do.
But what's good about Ozark is it goes from, is my fake ID going to work, to, are these people going to shoot me when they find me, to, where'd that body in the river come from? Yeah. It changes. It's never the same story each episode. Oh, that's what's great about Ozark. It just
and yet it all ties together, of course.
Yes.
It's one big story.
Right.
But anyway, so there you go. All right. Well, we got about 10, 15, 20 minutes left. So what's your conversation starter?
It's a quiz.
Oh boy.
You're going to have to come up with 3 answers.
I hate quizzes. All right, go ahead. I have a graduate degree. I don't want to take any more quizzes.
You have agreed to the 1-year challenge, as have I.
What the heck is that?
You're going to live in a beach house for a year.
Really?
By yourself.
Okay.
There's no internet.
By myself?
Listen up. There's no internet. There's no cable or satellite service. No phones. You get all the food you want. You get all the facilities you need. Everything's there. Your only form of entertainment is a giant screen TV and a DVD player. That's all you get. You get to pick 3 shows in their entirety to take with you for a year. You're only going to be able to watch the DVD box sets of these any 3 shows of all the seasons they've compiled so far. So you can pick a new show with only its limited seasons.
Right.
You can pick an old show with all of its seasons.
Right.
But you only get 3.
I only get 3.
You only get 3.
I can watch them as many times as I want in that
Absolutely. Year. And that's the thing. How many times can I watch this show over that year? I mean, is once going to be like, I don't want to watch this again, or can you watch one over and over? So.
Okay. Now, a very important question.
Mm-hmm.
How is my food getting cooked? Am I having to cook it, or do I have a chef come in, or is it delivered? What?
Both. You can order
I'm
food. They
I'm
can
not
bring you
cooking my
groceries,
own.
but you're not necessarily leaving your place. You can go sit on the beach. You can go out in the ocean, but you're not going out to dinner. You're staying in your cabin on the beach house. But your only form of entertainment is these 3 shows.
Yeah.
So you got to
I've
pick
got
only
2
3.
right off the bat.
I know what
Got
one
2
of them
right off the
is.
bat.
So
I want them to be. So what I'm thinking through this is I want them to be long enough.
right.
I don't want a 2-season
No.
show.
That's why I didn't go movies. I went TV shows because you don't want a 90-minute movie.
I don't want movies.
You'd never choose a movie, right?
Mm-mm. And they've got to be really high quality.
Right.
Or sentimental, like Columbo is sentimental.
Sure.
Because I loved it as a kid.
But as the the quality you're used to today, does it step up to that where you could say, you know what, I'm gonna go back and watch that again. I know it's only February, but I'm gonna go watch all the Columbo episodes again.
Yeah.
Now you're not constantly watching. You're not constantly watching. You're taking naps. You're eating. You're doing whatever. But I'm just saying, this is your only form of entertainment for a year.
Okay. See, you have an unfair advantage because you've gotten to think about this, bro.
I've thought about
right
it,
off
but
the top.
I don't have my 3.
All right, right off the top of my head, the 2 right off the top of my head, Lost.
Yep, I knew that'd be one.
Okay? I'm gonna rewatch Lost, which, by the way, I think I waited 6 or 7 years before I rewatched it after the initial airing.
Mm-hmm.
I think I waited that way. By the way, they'd have to be 4K and 100-inch TV and a full sound system.
Granted.
All right, so Lost for sure, and then Game of Thrones for sure.
Okay.
All right. I'm not sure about the other.
Okay. All right. So you think on that one.
Okay.
So my first thought was Breaking Bad, but when I thought about 2 and 3, I said, you know what? I need to weigh that against other shows that can replace it because I like Breaking Bad. I think it's one of the best shows on TV. But you know what? Lost is not probably in my top 5. It might not be in my top 10. But Lost is so unique and changes every time you watch it that I feel like I could watch it 3 times and get something different out of it each time I watched it. That's how good Lost was. And like I said, it's not one of my top 10 shows, but I think it's that good that if I watched it now, it's been so long for me, it would feel like a new show. So Lost, I would have to put Lost on there just because of how long it ran and how unique it was. Yeah. And what's oddly enough is I can't remember a show I've rewatched certain scenes than Game of Thrones. Yeah. Game of Thrones was my second choice because it's so unique. Every season is different. Every season focuses on something different. It's a beautiful show with all the scenery and landscape and stuff. I think the end is, I know a lot of people didn't like the end. It probably wasn't perfect. I'll take it. I liked it. I thought it was good. Thought it was acceptable. So it's funny that the first 2 you pick are the same first 2 that I picked. Now, here's where I struggle. Here's where I struggle. You got to have a comedy.
That's my third one. I have a comedy.
You got to have a comedy for your third one. And I love Seinfeld, but I couldn't watch Seinfeld all year long. And I love Big Bang, but I've seen all those like 3 or 4 times. And I was talking to Davis about it. He says, well, if you're going for longevity, you got to go with MASH. You're going to get 550 seasons in MASH. I said, that's a good one. They're short, but all comedies are short. So that's where I'm stuck.
MASH gets to be like they're all the same. So
they do, but they change actors at some point. But I'm still not decided on my third one. So you get your third one?
I do, but I do want to say something about Breaking Bad first.
Yeah,
Breaking Bad had one of the most fulfilling and closed off the show last episode, right?
Yeah.
And I had always heard that The Sopranos did not, that people were disappointed in it. But I watched The Sopranos for the first time, and I watched the last episode, and I was like, okay, I'm going to go read before I say this, because I didn't think it was a bad ending, but I didn't completely understand it. And I went and read the explanation of it. Oh, my goodness. It is incredible writing and incredible ending to the series. And I'll tell you about it later because I don't want to ruin it for anybody. but amazing.
I thought the way it ended was great. I didn't need more than how it ended.
Yeah, but did you understand the intricacies of the scene?
We'll talk
Wait
about it
till I
after.
tell you, man.
Okay.
Wait till I tell you. In fact, let me write it down.
So since you mentioned Sopranos, I would say another one of my favorite shows, but it only went 3 seasons, was not Tombstone. It's Deadwood on HBO, the Western, and they even made a finishing movie. Oh, it's an adult show. I will tell you that for families listening, but it's just a Western. It's a raw, really good Western. Yeah. But it's only 3 seasons, and that would get old really fast.
Okay, so I've got Game of Thrones, which is very dun 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 dun, and then Lost, which is kind of a out there type of thing. I've never watched this series except for a couple episodes off. Like it's on, and I'm like, I don't want to change the channel, so I'll watch it. Friends.
You've never watched the whole series?
I've never watched it. But every time I watch an episode, I laugh a lot. So since I've never seen it, I think that would be a fun break, you know. And like, I probably wouldn't watch all the seasons of like Lost at once. I'd probably break it up.
Yeah.
So.
But, well, I'll tell you this. If this was a contest, I think you won, because our first 2 answers were the same, and I had not thought about Friends. But Friends is one of the only shows where I feel like 6 actors in every episode feels like every episode is unique and has it stands on its, every episode stands on its own. It's that good. It's like Big Bang good to me. Yeah. It's as good as that show. That's a great choice, especially for the number of seasons that you get out of it.
Yeah. Which makes me think I want to watch it.
And I have seen the entirety of the series.
Yeah.
And
for example, some people would say The Office, but I recently I'd never seen the entire series. I had seen off episodes, and I ended up watching it. I didn't even watch the last season. I kind of got tired of it.
Yeah.
You know, it's kind of like they jumped the shark, just like
Happy Days.
Just like Happy Days did.
And it's funny because I watched the British Office, Ricky Gervais, because it's his show. Right. I tried to watch the American one, and I couldn't. It was like a bad copy
because you'd already watched. Yeah. Yeah. But you have to understand, everybody says that I know.
Yeah.
You have to get past the first season of the American version.
Yeah.
And it really gets good season 2.
That's funny because that's why they cut off the British version after a couple seasons. They just stopped because that was all they wanted to do. And they left it at that. So the American version just took it further.
Yeah. Well, the absolute best episode of The Office that I saw was Michael Scott's Last Day. Absolutely the best one.
Wow.
Yeah.
But see, I do watch the prank videos where it's just the two of them pranking each other. Mm-hmm. John Krasinski and Rainn Wilson. They just prank on each other. I think that's funny. But no, that definitely would be. I don't know. See, now you got me thinking about Friends. That'd be crazy if we had the same 3 shows that we would take to this island.
Yeah.
Because
can we be on the same island and like say hi to each other occasionally? Well, actually, I'd rather have my wife there. Are you sure I can't bring my wife? Or can she come for conjugal visits?
If this was real, sure, I would let that happen.
All right.
Yeah, that's tough. See, I would probably go with Friends as well, just for the entertainment value.
Serious?
I would, because Big Bang I love, but it's so, I don't know. I feel like I've seen them too much, and I have not watched the entire Friends series twice.
Well, I haven't watched the entire series at all, so I need to watch it.
Friends is a good break between episodes of Lost or Game of Thrones because it's 30 minutes and you're done.
Yeah. So now I'm wanting to rewatch that and watch that. Okay. By the way, I'm going to tell you about the ending of Sopranos at the end of the podcast. So if anybody doesn't want to hear it, they can go ahead and stop. Right. So see you later. See you next week. All right. So
let me, just to set it up, I rewatched Sopranos, got to the end. I can remember it, but I don't recall reading anything about it. So I'm interested in what you're going to tell me.
Okay. So the ending is he and his family go to the diner.
Yes.
Right. And it starts off with him and his wife and his son. Okay. And he's sitting facing the door.
Right.
And throughout the first and his daughter's having trouble getting there, so she's running late,
Mm-hmm.
right? So what they do is they show him looking at something, and like there's callbacks to lots of different things from the series that he looks at, right? So you keep looking at stuff through his eyes. Okay. The bell rings on the door, and you see it from his eyes, the person come in, right? And it's usually something from, as kind of a callback or whatever.
Yeah.
Then there's a guy that I think comes in one of the doorbell, in one of the bell rings, that comes in, that sits at the counter right across from them or a little bit down, and he keeps looking at Tony.
Right.
Right. So something's probably up,
Uh-huh.
And bell rings again. You see from Tony's perspective, the person comes in, and then it goes, then it might show them eating French fries or something like that.
Yeah.
So this happens several times. So you've got it in your mind that we keep seeing what Tony sees. Okay. The guy at the counter gets up and watches Tony and then goes down the hall to the bathroom.
Mm-hmm.
And the hallway is lined up with Tony. Okay. Then you hear his daughter shows up outside, and she's running across the street. She opens the door, and you see her open the door, and you see her come in, and it goes dark.
Did the guy come out of the bathroom?
Because Tony didn't see her, because the guy came out and shot him. Or if he did see her, I don't know, but it goes dark. I don't remember if he sees her and then it goes dark. I think he sees her and then it goes dark, which is an indication that Tony no longer sees her. He's gone.
Because we were always in his vision. We were always seeing his vision. Right.
He got shot at the diner in front of his family.
Who wrote that?
I don't remember.
I mean, was it David Lynch, the guy that wrote the show, or was it just somebody?
Yeah. He ended up explaining it.
Okay.
And the guy that wrote the article was like, he broke it down a whole lot better than I did, and I probably messed up something.
Yeah.
But he said once he heard it explained, it was just incredible writing, incredibly well done. And I thought so. That was a great series. I really enjoyed it. So anyway.
Actually, I think it was David Milch, not David Lynch. That's the director.
David Milch?
I think that's his name.
No, David Chase.
David Chase, yeah.
Yeah, David Chase finally explained Tony's fate in The Sopranos.
Cool.
I don't remember if this is the article that I read, but
I've never read that.
Yeah, it's really good. I'll send you the link.
Okay. I thought they had just left it unclear on purpose.
No, he definitely died. So, the article that I read was very long. So, so the show's kind of already over. We're just chilling right now. So, but we'll leave it on the podcast. Do you have any? When was the last time you saw Sopranos?
It's probably been. So I watched stuff at lunch, and I watched that. It's probably been 4 or 5 years ago.
Yeah. Sopranos and Game of Thrones both have ridiculously long introductions.
Yeah. Oh yeah. But they're good.
Yeah, but I still skip them.
Yeah. Oh man. I'll talk more about it next episode or whenever we talk about it. But this weekend being snowed in was like a quarantine. Terry and I streamed a lot in Davis. We were all watching stuff and streaming. It was we caught a lot of stuff. We watched a couple seasons of a show.
How many
finished a couple shows?
It looked like 6 to 8.
I think we got like 5 or 6. Yeah.
Yeah, I liked your video where at the end of it your dog squats to go to the bathroom. Thank you for stopping the video at that point.
And no, he was just doing his show pose.
No. He was creating a yellow snow cone.
Yeah, I didn't say anything, but I'm thinking, yep, that's the end. That was he.
Yeah.
Actually, both of them, I think, were.
Yeah. All right, man. Hey, y'all. Thanks for listening, and we hope to see you in episode 3. Bye.